Hi, my name is Timothy Jenkins, and I want to be your mayor. First, let me pose this question to you. Is Seattle a city or just a glorified shopping mall allowing itself to be bought and sold by the highest bidder? What qualifications do you need to have to be mayor? Is it just good enough to be able to make the city better and the citizens more prosperous? Or do people need you to be rich and have a lot of fancy titles under your belt before they will vote for you? I have no fancy titles. I have held no office prior to the office I am seeking to hold now. I'm not rich, nor am I poor, but I know how to make the most out of what I have without asking for the moon. I do not believe that money should decide who is in charge of a city's future. I believe that it should be the citizens who are in charge of the city, and we are just the boundaries so the people don't fly off into the lake and get hurt. I moved to Seattle in the early 90s by accident. I had no idea what Seattle was or where she was located. I took a bus trip from Topeka, Kansas to Everett, Washington, bringing a girl back to her parents' house. I was younger and still kind of stupid at the early age of 24, and she was homesick for her parents, having just turned 18. Living in Everett, things didn't work out between me and her, so I booked a bus trip to Los Angeles, and in Seattle, I had a layover. On that layover, I decided to walk around and get lunch. As I walked around, I fell in love with what I saw, and I knew that this was going to be my home. It felt comfortable. It felt safe. It inspired me to become a better person than I already was. So I went back to the Greyhound station and got a refund for the rest of my trip. I then got a room at the Commodore Hotel for a week. Not long after I decided to stay, I found an apartment in Capitol Hill. I got a job working in an art gallery at the Pike Place Market. I am a portrait artist, by the way. Then I started volunteering my time at the Downtown Emergency Service Center when I wasn't working. It is close to the Pioneer Square area. It was great being able to walk most everywhere, and the scenery was spectacular even when it rained. In the rain, I felt like Gene Kelly when he was dancing. In the late 90s, family matters reluctantly drew me away from Seattle, but my heart was always there. As the years went by, I kept in constant contact with the mayors and the city councils on matters that I felt were relevant to keeping Seattle the Seattle I fell in love with. As time passed, Seattle changed. It no longer looked like that sleepy little town that I fell in love with. But that sleepy little town is still there. It is just hidden by all of the people that are trying to make Seattle into the next Silicon Valley. Transplants are moving in to become tech giants looking for a pot of gold at the end of their rainbow. Others are seeking to get rich off the housing market. Speaking of housing, it is now extremely expensive due to the shortage that has happened within the city over the years. Amazon, as well as other tech companies, are bringing in people every day by the dozens, and there are countless homeless citizens as well living in tent communities and shelters. If elected your mayor, I plan on doing several things to make Seattle great again. 1. Fix the homeless problem. 2. Work on the drug problem. 3. Work on affordable housing for not just the homeless, but also the minimum wage worker, the college student, and the low-collar worker. I have been in talks with a company that creates small apartments that can be put on campuses of any major tech company, as well as the way to house their employees and make the weight off of the housing market. These pod apartments can also be used to house the homeless in transition. The homeless need more than a shuffle. They need real help. 4. Also, I would like to try to bring the cost of living down to a livable cost. There is no reason to boost the minimum wage in a city where a man or a woman making $60,000 a year is now considered low income. If the cost of living is not brought down to a livable cost, it won't matter how much you boost minimum wage, it will still never be enough. These are just a few things that I would like to work on as your mayor. There are other items that need to be worked on as well that I have not listed here. But over the course of this next year, throughout videos on YouTube and Facebook, I plan on addressing those issues. I am in constant contact with the City of Seattle, and I will be bringing to you problems that I see, hoping that you will also bring me the problems that you see and post them in the videos as I go along. I can't do this alone, Seattle. If you're not willing to help me, help you, it will be just a waste of our time. And I don't like wasting time if I can help it. So what do you want, Seattle? What kind of city do you want Seattle to be in the next 10 years? Do you want it to be a place where only the rich can live? Or do you want it to be a place where everyone, no matter whether you are poor or rich, will be able to enjoy what Seattle has to offer? My name is Timothy Jenkins, and I am asking for your consideration as a better choice for mayor of Seattle in 2025. Thank you for your time, and I, Timothy Jenkins, approve this message.